Interview 1. De financiële afwegingen tussen blijven of terugkeren. Wanneer wordt Amsterdam te duur? Okay, so could you briefly introduce yourself and describe your current living situation in Amsterdam?
Yeah, of course. Hi, my name is Diego. I'm 23 years old and I come from Spain. Currently, I'm living in Amsterdam and working as a full-timer.
And what is your living situation like? Do you rent an apartment? Do you live in a room?
I renting a room on my cousin's house.
Okay. And what originally attracted you to move to Amsterdam?
At the beginning, I wasn't completely sure if I wanted to come here, but I heard that there was good job opportunities, so I thought I would give it a chance.
And overall, how would you describe the cost of living in Amsterdam? Is it very expensive to you, or are you able to manage it?
Being honest, at the beginning, everything was really expensive for me, compared to Spain, at least. But it is true that with time, you get used to, and I'm realizing that the prices of stuff in general is not that high.
And which expense feels the most expensive to you right now? Is that housing, food, transport, going out, if you do that?
I will say housing.
So what you pay monthly for the rent is your highest cost?
Yeah.
And how much of your salary, like is it a third, the half, do you pay for your room?
I will say that almost a third part of my salary goes to pay my room.
And do you feel like it's worth it?
Actually, yes, because it is a nice room in the center of the city. It is expensive, of course, but I think the location and the room is so nice, so yeah, I think it's worth it.
And do you think that the income that you make at your job matches kind of the price you pay for living here, that like it's easy because of the certain amount of income you get, or do you feel like you have to make a certain amount of money to live here?
Not at all. I think because I work at full time, and with what I get paid for that, I can get a life in here. I pay a lot for my room, but I still have some money to pay for other stuff. So I think it's worth it, what you get paid and then for what you want to spend it on.
You say you have some money left over. Do you have money left over to save at the end of the month?
It depends, of course, like how you manage that money, but yeah, usually if you don't have like high expenses, I'm able to save some money at the end of the month.
And how affordable do you find food and groceries in Amsterdam?
As I said before, at the beginning it was really expensive, but I realized that I pay some money for my room, and then the money that I have left over is more than enough to pay for food, even though this is the foods and expenses are expensive.
Have you noticed in your time being here that the food prices have gone up?
It's a difficult question. I don't know. Maybe just a little bit because of the general inflation, but not in a radical way.
Does the cost of the food change your eating habits in any way? Do you buy certain things because they're too expensive? Do you limit yourself to smaller meals because of this, or does it not have that big of an effect?
Currently, yeah, because I'm trying to save as much money as I can. So, yeah, sometimes I get like smaller meals, or just buying chicken or meat just in special occasions. so it's mostly veggies or stuff that is cheaper.
And you having smaller meals in order to save money, do you feel like it's worth it then to live in Amsterdam? Because you're obviously having to eat less or eat not what you would kind of prefer in your diet to be able to save money. Does that make it worth it for you to live here, or you don't mind?
Actually, I do not mind that much because I know I just want to save money. So of course, like if you don't have those high standards of savings, I think you can easily like pay for as much food as you want, as many type of food.
So imagine you were still living in Spain or somewhere else. You think you would also be kind of applying these saving tactics?
Actually, I don't think so because I will get paid way less in Spain.
So it's worth it for you to live here and eat maybe not what you want to be able to save money because you're getting paid more overall.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you usually travel around Amsterdam?
Mostly I try to use the bike as much as I can. I think it's a really good way of move around the city and it's really easy.
Do you ever take the public transport?
Only when it is necessary. For example, if it's raining or if it's snowing, maybe it's the best option for sure.
What do you think about the prices?
I think it's quite expensive in some way.
Is this compared to Spain, or is this just your overall feeling of the costs?
I think it's my overall feeling because even though you get paid more here, still the public transport is still, if you use it every day, it's still good part of my money.
Do the prices for the transport limit how much you use them? I know you don't use them a lot, but imagine they were cheaper. Would you use them more?
Probably, yeah.
And is that just the trams and metros, or would you take the train to other cities more?
Yeah, I think like it doesn't encourage me a lot to use the train by seeing the prices. So yeah, of course, if it was cheaper, I would love to take a train and go to another city or to make more use of it.
Are there certain cities you want to visit?
Yeah, I would love to go to Utrecht. I heard it's a really nice city. Or also The Hague. Yeah, like a couple of cities that I would love to visit.
Have you ever thought about living in a city in the Netherlands outside of Amsterdam where the rent prices might be lower, so therefore you could probably pay more for other necessities, or is that not something you've thought about?
Maybe in the long term, yeah, because it is true that it's a great advantage that you pay less rent, so therefore you can afford more expenses.
Okay. Are you someone that goes out a lot to restaurants or bars or clubbing in Amsterdam, or?
Actually, not that much. Whenever I have a chance, I like to, but it's not like every week or something like that.
Is the reason you'd go out less because of money, or is it more personal?
I would say a little bit of both, but yeah.
So, for you, it's not good value for money?
From my experience of the couple of times that I've been going out here in Amsterdam, I would say that it's kind of expensive.
And what exactly is expensive?
I don't know. I try not to compare with Spain because of course there's like two completely different countries and situations. But like if you want to get a drink or just the cost of parties and stuff, I think it's quite high.
So compared to Spain, it's significantly more expensive here?
Yeah. At the end of the day, you are paying more money for the exact same service.
Okay. Does the fact that you have to pay a lot when going out make you want to go out less and have maybe less of a good time, or make you not want to drink?
I haven't thought about it, but now that you say it, yeah, probably.
Maybe subconsciously?
Yeah, maybe in a subconsciously way, that hasn't that has been making me feel like, I don't know, I prefer to stay at home instead of going out and spending that much money.
Okay. And what for you needs to become... So going out, transport, food and rent, these are all high costs. Do these ever make you doubt staying in Amsterdam?
Yeah, I would say yes.
And why is that?
Because I think if it reaches a point where my salary is not enough in order for me to get to have a complete and nice life in Amsterdam, I think that's a really, like, I don't know, it's not a situation that I would like to live in.
And is there a certain cost that affects this, or is it everything together?
Thinking about it, probably the rent, since it's really high and it looks like it's going higher. And yeah, mainly that. Maybe also the food prices or transport also.
So for you do sometimes worry about living in Amsterdam. At what point would you have to leave, or would you just say no, like I can't afford this anymore? Is there a certain point?
Yes. What I want is like to have a nice, good life in here. So if I feel like I'm always like lacking on money, I think at that point I will definitely leave, probably.
And do you think your doubt about you staying in Amsterdam is temporary, or do you think something that it's only going to get worse?
I don't know. I hope it's temporary, since I want my situation to improve. But otherwise, yeah, I will have to think about it twice.
And I think you mentioned that, what you pay for your room you think is reasonable and that is kind of worth it. Do you feel like what you pay for your room, transport, food and everything else in Amsterdam is worth it? Or is it getting to the point where it's becoming less worth it?
Yes, I think it's becoming less worth it.
Okay. And what would need to change financially for you to, feel confident about staying in Amsterdam long term?
I don't know, probably the housing situation. That's a very important point that I think will help me as an expat, but also will be a positive point for everyone else who is coming to the Netherlands to work or study. I think that's one. Yeah.
And when you say you worry about staying here, what would you do if you couldn't stay? Would you move back to Spain? Would you move somewhere else? What would you do?
Honestly, I don't know exactly right now. Probably I will just come back to Spain straight, since it's like where I'm from, where I have all my family and my friends, and I will try to start over from there.
And are there options for you to start over there, or is it something that, would take a lot of work?
The thing is, I know the situation in Spain is not the best one. Now that I know how it is to live outside Spain, I may try to in a different country outside Spain.
And what is a reason you think that some expats continue to live in Amsterdam even though its costs are so high, or they're unable to save money, or they're hardly getting through, while others decide to leave?
I think it's because they can see that they have opportunities. Well, that we have opportunities. It can be hard at the beginning. It can be hard even most of the time, but it depends on your situation. But as I said before, if you get a good salary, maybe you can get a good life in here because of the opportunity.